Alright, so today I'm gonna talk about takes and Wedge Tool, Wedge Node, and these two things is really powerful and allows you to get some interesting results, and they're pretty handy. Okay, let's start from takes. So what basically the take is, for those who are familiar with Maya, this can be taken as a layer override. And for those who are not, this can be like creating a new layer and applying some parameters to this. So, all right, I will show it, and this will be clear for you. Okay, let's create, for example, a box, just a simple box. And here we have parameters, you know it. All right, and let's create some simple, let's say, animation. So I would say I want to translate it something like this and do such animation. So set keyframe here, move to here, and counter change. So all right, I have animation. But let's say I want to have a bit different animation, but I want to keep this one. So here is take coming. Here on top we have a few different tabs, and if you hit this plus button, we can create a new paint subtype. And let's select a take list, like so. So it creates this field for you, and here on top we have button add take. So let's click on this, and this will create a child take for our main one. Okay, let's edit it, or you can click just enter to come into edit mode, and let's call it animation 2. Okay. As you noticed, all the parameters become gray and unavailable, so I can't change it. That's fine, because it just locks everything, so you can't change it accidentally. And currently we are on anim2. This is our take, so I can switch and this will become active. And here is my animation. I switch to anim2, and here is my animation, so it inherits everything from main one. Okay, so to change some values here, you can right mouse button click and include in take. Right, so I add my translate channel to this take, and I can, for example, clear this delete channel. So I clean the animation only on this take, so there is no animation you see. But if I switch back to main one, here is my animation. All right, here is one really useful feature in take list here. When you're switching from take to take, you can see the changes. So here, when I'm on take on anim2, I can see all my changes I have in this take. So let's say I will put some, I will add uniform scale to this, and it shows up here, so I can see which changes I do have comparing to my main one. So you see it's changing. All right. If I want to delete this, I can exclude it from take. This become gray, and I'm on anim2, and I have no animation. Cool. So you can add any parameter into this take and do whatever you want. You also can change visibility on take, And here is a checkbox which is auto takes. If I check it, this will become like this, and this is not locked, but it says that it's almost locked, but you can change the value from here. It will show up here, but it works like auto keyframe in Maya. So if you change something, it will be taken and recorded to anim take, but it happens without you noticing you, so you can change something accidentally. All right. So I would recommend on the first time use it like turn off auto takes and add your parameters manually. So one more time, you need to click right mouse button click include intake, and if you want to delete it from take, right mouse button click and exclude from take. Alright, that's all. That's all about takes. Oh, actually not. It's not everything. It's not all. When it's time to render, and let's say we have mantra node, and we're in the main one, I can select which take I want to render. So I will do something like this just to show it to you. And I will change the scale like so, and just offset it a bit. So here we have two different takes, and when it's time to render, I can choose which take I want to render. So I will create a render view here. Let's create a camera render. And currently I'm rendering main take, but if I switch to anim2, it renders animation 2. On take list here, you can create as many takes as you wish. So this is parenting one from 1 to 1, and this inherits everything from this take. But you can do it like just drag it, left mouse button click, drag, and this will ask you where to put your take. And you can move it, you can merge, and you can override, merge override. So this will take the information from this take and put it into this one. All right. So yeah, that's what you can do. And to delete it, you just hit delete. That's all. You can turn off show content. Okay. That's how you render different takes. This might be useful. This is actually useful when you do some different simulations and you want to have, let's say, on one take you want to have parameter A, and in another take you want to have parameter B, and or you can use this for rendering different shadows separately. So let's say if I have few objects like so, all right, and on anim2 take I want to have just sphere and cube be visible. Oh, and sure, I have auto takes on, so when I move the object, it's automatically recorded to my anim2, but nothing on the main layer. So that's why I recommended you to use it. to turn off auto take. So let's exclude. Exclude. All right, cool. So yeah, let's say I want to have just something like this, and when I switch, it works. Okay, I hope you get the idea. Next thing is a wedge tool. I will create a new scene like this, and okay, let's close this. Close pen tab. Yeah, like so. Alright, so wedge tool. You need to create it in output, or you can go to object and create ROP network here. So this creates a render output network in object network. So you don't have to switch it each time. Alright, so let's do it first. I will create a ground plane, just a simple ground plane. You should be familiar with this. And let's create, okay, let's say a torus. Just a simple torus. And let's make it an RBD object. So it's falling down. Perfect. But let's imagine that I have some very difficult simulation and I'm not sure about some specific parameter, and I have to go home and leave my machine to work overnight, and I want to do a test of different values of some parameter. Alright, so to do this I can use a wedge node. So I will create a ROP network, and here I can put a wedge. So the icon here is pretty self-describing, so it allows you to choose and to test the parameters with different values automatically. Okay, and let's go to Autodesk Network. Let's lay it out. And for example, I want to test my angular velocity, or I don't know, density, mass, rotation. Yeah, okay, let's say velocity on x. For example, it's 2, so it behaves like this. If it's 7, it behaves like so. But if you want to test, for example, 100 different variants, and you should do it manually, it's really boring and tedious and very inefficient. So, alright, let's say I want to test velocity and angular velocity. And if I set some angular velocity, you see that the torus is just spinning around. Let's set real times, like so. Okay. And to test 2 parameters, it will take forever if you're going to do it manually. So let's use a wedge tool. To do this, let's right mouse button click on velocity and copy parameter. So we copied the whole channel. Okay, now let's go back to ROP network and wedge. Okay, here I have wedge parameters 0, so I need to create one. And here I need to paste my channel. So right mouse button click, paste copied relative reference. Okay, if I'm gonna use this will not work because the Houdini wants this string to be like this, so it requires only this part, the one I selected. So you basically need to delete this, like so, and now we're fine. Okay, let's take a look about parameters we have here. Prefix, this is string which will be added to your uh, samples to test. So let's delete this underscores. By some reason, Houdini doesn't like this underscores, even if it puts it by itself. Okay, output driver. I will talk about it in a second. Wedge method. Here you can choose by channel, so like this, for example, or by take. If you have a few takes, like I showed previously, you can choose which take you want to start from, and this will go through all the takes and render it, or simulate it, or something else. Okay, let's switch back to by channel method. Wait for render complete. If you unclick this, so the wedge node will start all the tests simultaneously, and this will not work sometimes. For example, if you have fire simulation or water simulation, this will be really long, so you have to do it one per time. Or if you have few machines, then you can use this. Okay, but currently I'm using one machine, so I will wait for render to complete. Okay, random samples. Since I'm gonna use this velocity field, not field, velocity parameter to be tested, I can use random samples, for example, 4 samples, and this will just randomly apply different values, 4 different values to this parameter. But if I want to test some specific values, I need to turn this off. And now it goes like this. I can set range. And let's say I want to start from 0 to 10. And here is number of steps, or I would say sub-steps. So currently it has just one step, so this will take, I believe, number 5, something in between. If I set to 2, this will try 0 and 10. On 3, it will be 0, 5, and 3, and 4, so you have to just divide. Okay, right, let's say I want to have 3 different steps, and let's name it, well, x, just for velocity. And alright, I will start from one parameter. Okay, and here, output driver. It's really necessary to set some node to be an output driver. This can be either a geometry node or render node. So let's say I want to do a geometry to cache my simulation. So I need to create a geometry. And after this, I'm selecting that node, and I have render control. This should be quite familiar for you. This is almost like in an entry node, but oh yeah, and you can choose take and so on and so on. But currently I'm looking for output file. So here I have $heap, which is Houdini project folder. So I need to save my project first. I'll save it as Wedge. Alright, $F is for frame number and BGO is for geometry file. Alright, so here I need to change the output file name, and I have to type wedge $wedge dot $F, let's say 2. So this will give me 2 numbers in file name and BGO. So now I'm fine, and I need to say the frame range, let's say 100, since this is pretty fast simulation, so I can do this. And okay, one more time. This will create 3 different simulations with different velocity x parameter. Oh, and I will just put it in different folder. Geometry, I have some geometry here, so just have to mix it. I will, oh, here it is. GO2. Okay, and here I paste my file name, accept. So now the file name goes like this. Alright, so now I'm going back to Wedge Tool, and I need to select my output driver, which is Geometry 1. Well, you always should name everything. So geo output, and this changed automatically here. Alright, so now I hit render button here on top, and this is not working. Okay, let me check what's wrong. Alright, so the fail was that I forgot to put the surface operator path. So the geometry node knew what to write down, but it didn't know what to write it from. So to make it work, we need to select our object and DOP import. If you go to torus, here is in DOP import. Yeah, so this node is used for writing out the information. So this must be used as a sub operator path. Okay, so alright, now let's check how many frames I need. Well, 100 will be enough. I said 100 in geometry, and I go back to Wedge and hit render. Okay, it's done. And here I have all my files, so let's click on one of them. Torus, open, and show sequence as one entry, so I can choose which sequence I want to play. And here you see that we have wedge underscore test, because that's how the channel named, and then the value of the parameter we're testing, and $F stands for frame number. So let's say I want to check frame number 1, sequence number 1, and play it. Alright, so there is no velocity, and here, okay, it loads two sequences. Right, now I have third one. Good. But this is not comfortable way to check what you wrote down. And so to see what's going on, let's go back to let's say to torus object, and here let's create a file node, file, and I can choose my sequence. Alright, it's not happy, unable to read the file, and that's fine. The reason is that it's trying to read wedge test one, while on disk it's wrote it has a name 0.01. Okay, so I need to type number 2 here. Alright, and now I can play my animation. I just need to turn off. Okay, it's playing animation, the recorded one. So yeah, here is proof, because the simulated animation can't be played on the rear direction. Okay, and I can Control C, Control V, and choose my second and third sequence like this, and I can apply a switch node, so I can choose which one to play at time. Or if I want, instead of switch, I can use merge. So this will play all three in the same time. To make it more noticeable, I can apply a color node to this and set red, and let's break this and this, red, green, and RGB. Okay, lay it out. Right, and now I have all three colored, so it's really easy to see which one I want. And that's how Wedge works. And okay, but let's say I want to test two different parameters. And to do this, I need to go to my torus again, or to my Autodesk network. And for example, if I want to check my angular velocity, I do the same stuff. Just copy parameter, going back to Route Network, select my wedge, creating one more channel to check angular velocity, base relative, delete those. Okay, fine. Angular velocity x, let's say I want to check y, and range 720 to 0, and I want to check 5 different values. Okay, and I hit render one more time. It takes a bit longer because it simulates way more different possible situations. And let's go back to Taurus, and I create a new file node like this. And here you see that I have few different sequences, and the angular velocity 0, and simple velocity on 3 different values. Then it goes 180 for angular velocity and 0, 5, 10 to velocity by itself, and it goes through each parameter and creates a different pair of parameters. So let's say I want to check this one, and do like so, type number 2 here, and I want to turn off this one because it's just distracting. So yeah, well, angular velocity on y is not so interesting, so I'll probably change it to different one for testing purposes, and I will set z and render. So you see, the wedge node allows to get a lot of different testing parameters, testing sequences, which is, if you will try to make them manually, this will take a very long time. All right. So, and this is really handy for fire simulations. And here is a nice example of how this can be used. So you see this guide created samples of dissipation for smoke simulation and so on and so on. So you can do a lot overnight, and currently I'm planning to do something like this, maybe with a bit different parameters, but yeah, this might be useful for own usage, or somebody else might find it useful. I'll be happy. Okay, so yeah, that was a wedge node and takes. Here is nothing to tell more. While the random samples, it will do the same stuff, just random one. So yeah, and for example, after you made you cached all the simulation to the disk, you can do the same wedge or a different wedge, which will render immediately. And or for example, if you don't want to cache but you want to render, you can create a mantra node, mantra, and I already have a camera in my sim. And let's say I want to render from 1 to 10. Well, even if it's fast, it'll take time. Well, okay, 100. Right, and I'm going to wedge and selecting my mantra instead of geometry, and that's all. I can render now. So I hit render. Oh, and I forgot to set up my render output image, because now it's rendering to interactive form. And okay, I will render it to the same folder. So I'm typing $wedge dot $f, say 4, and pic, which is standard Houdini format. Okay, and I hit render now. Oops, I need to hit render on the wedge tool, wedge node. Okay, so now it's rendering. I will pause my video while it's render. So I'll come back really soon. Alright, so once rendering is over, I just changed the frame range a bit because, and yeah, I removed one channel just because it was too long. Okay, here I have my 10 images with yeah, something like this. And here is one problem, that if you have a lot of different sequences, it's really hard to tell which one is where, which one is which, when you're looking at it here. And to fix this problem, there is a little script which should be pasted into mantra node script, post frame script. Here is an example. I will make it bigger. So Unix is a command, H watermark. This is a command name. -M stands for message. $wedge will write down the wedge parameter. This one is 2 images, which will be used for, well, this is the same image, and the watermark will be applied into here. And this line is defining a font which will be used, and $HH stands for Houdini installation folder. So if you go to Houdini and find side effects software, Houdini, and here we have fonts folder. You can choose any any font you wish, like here, so it stands Deja Vu Sans. And 20 is the size, so you need to copy this line and paste it to post frame script. Alright, so now when I'm render my sequence, you see this black window appears, and if I go back to here, I should have a watermark, which isn't here now. Let me check what's wrong. Okay, so the script by itself is correct. The reason why it doesn't work is that looks like it can work only in mplay, which is non-interactive, because if I render it like normal, then I have no text here. But if I switch to mplay non-interactive and then render through Wedge, then I have my text here, which is saying what I have. So the prefix goes here, channel name here, value and number. You can find a bit more on this forum, which is an official Houdini forum, and the topic called H watermark worked for anyone. And here is the whole discussion. Well, this script is really tricky one because it was changed and it's kind of hard to make it work, and there is pretty long conversation about it. But here one of the developers is giving the precise description of each flag, like so. So message, color, you can set any color, alpha, and shadow. I have no idea why you want to have shadow here, but here is an option. Yeah, blur. Okay, alpha for blur, and location is probably one of the most useful here. And yeah, so you can find it here. And once more time, this is on the side effects official forum. Okay, so that's all about Wedge Tool and takes. I hope it's really useful for you because this is really powerful tools. And on next lecture, I'll talk about class simulation. And yeah, I will cover up the simulation of the class in Houdini. And alright, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.